Good evening, friends and followers. Welcome back to TJ's Modeling Bench. It is time for another episode of What Did You Buy Wednesday? And I also have a community question to answer that Jason Hanscom over at Blue Ox Model Shop put out a couple days ago. And I also have a contest shout out for next year. So hang on and we'll get to that. All right, so Jason's question to the community, and I'm going to paraphrase here, kind of comes down to this. Do you have a kit, or kits even, that you kind of put on the back burner at one point and never got back to them? You know, you found other interests, or maybe those kits were giving you frustrations and you decided you needed to let them sit so you could work through that. And yes, I actually have, well, technically it's 3 kits. The first, many of you might remember when I started doing the flying wings, the YB39 and the, or YB35 XB49. All right, so this would be the YB49, this would be the XB35. These are just horribly old molds. The kits, I did a lot of work trying to fill gaps and steps between pieces. This area here is one of the largest ones. You can see there's a big step. There was also a bit of a gap. So these leading edges from here to here are one piece, and they don't mate well with the rest of the wing. So like here, even on top, you can see there's a step still there. There's a bit of a divot there. This side isn't a whole lot better. And then of course the black on the bottom side, that is just a gloss black prior to using Alclad aluminum, and it didn't spray well. The aluminum in some areas, I don't know how visible this will be on camera. Let's try, see if I can get that. Yeah, you see the orange peeling look to it. Yeah, so there was that, and that was pretty much both of them were the same. Actually, the YB49 one, I got these leading edges a little bit better, but even on this one, you know, there's still, right there you can see, there's a big step. I mean, you can see the difference. It's just not smooth across there like it should be. And it was difficult to even get it to that point. So these got shelved and will likely never get finished, I'm afraid. And then the other one, many of you may remember this one as well, the 1967 Pontiac GTO, a famously poor quality kit. The fitment of the front grille around the quarter panels is notoriously awful, and I was having a time with it. And I will admit that when I got into that group build, I was kind of, well, not new to modeling, but I had just kind of gotten back into plastic modeling. I built maybe a couple of cars prior to getting in on this one, and I thought I could handle it, but in the end, it just became too much of a frustration for me. Now, I think it's pretty good, but I don't know if you can see, I actually added plastic in here because of the way I had sanded things. It was starting to get too much of a flat nose. So I tried to build up that contour a little more again. You know, some filler. I had some scratches where I tried to deepen some panel lines. Yeah, it's not, this one might at some point get back on the bench and get finished. I mean, it still needs quite a bit of work. The interior on it, that actually came out fairly good. That's the interior that I did for it. I don't think that looks too bad. But anyway, so that answers Jason's question. Now back to what I bought this week. I've been wanting to shoot a little more like in progress video, you know, actually building things or spray painting in the booth. And the articulating arm I use for my camera, which is my phone, I'm a little bit limited in where I can position it. I had to modify what would normally be a clamp that goes to the side of your tabletop because my bench, the fascia board on it is, well, the fascia is about 4 inches wide. Most of those clamps aren't wide enough for that to begin with, but it's also right at the edge. And then the top of my bench is covered with basically 16th inch steel sheet, which is magnetic. So I modified the base of this to hold a large magnet, and that's how it's attached to my bench top. And I can move it around, but it's really difficult to get it in a good position at the spray booth. So I found this tripod on Amazon, and it's almost like a mic stand, you know, microphone. And it's got this gooseneck at the top that you can bend in all kinds of ways, and it's got the same, you know, phone clamp, the jaw that opens up and holds the phone. And the other cool thing, I didn't even know it came with this. It's a remote that actually works with my phone through Bluetooth. I can start and stop the video. So hang on a second, and I'll show you. I'm going to hand hold the phone for a few minutes to show you my articulating arm that I've been using, and then now the new stand with the gooseneck on it that I'll also be using in conjunction with this. All right, so this is the articulating arm that I've been using, and you can see here the base of it is the magnet, and then that I've got a bolt that goes up through this here, and I've got layers and layers of masking tape to make it fit better. The tape is actually stuck in the end of it now. It was stuck on the screw, but it still works. It's a little bit wobbly in that regard, but it's not that big a deal. Once the camera's on there and I have it where I want it, it works just fine. But you know, I can wrench it off and move it over there, so now it's right where I work. Now, one problem I have with this normally is if I'm shooting downward over where I'm working, I tend to work really close to the edge of the bench, even though I'm scooted up to it in my chair, and then my head creates a shadow or it gets in the way of the camera. So what I need to do is put the stand further back on the mat, angle the camera so it's more, instead of at an angle from this point looking forward, it'll actually be this way looking back toward the edge, and then I can rotate that image in post-process, but that'll help keep it from getting hit by my head for one, and then it'll keep me from blocking the light. And then here is the new stand, and you can see it's got this gooseneck on it with the same phone holding clamp, and then I can position this much closer to my spray booth if need be to shoot video of me painting. You know, before I could kind of put that magnetic clamp here, but it really didn't get into a good angle for shooting video. So I'm hoping this resolves that, and then I can shoot more video of actual work being done. And the brand on this, I found it on Amazon. It's called Victiv, Victiv, Victiv. And it wasn't too expensive. I don't recall offhand now. Less than $30. So, and it also has another. Well, actually, I guess I used both of them. So the gooseneck can either attach directly to the sections of the mic stand itself, or this little piece here. So I've got it tightened down. Let me see if I can loosen it up. Okay, so you can see that, but I can remove the gooseneck from this and attach it directly here, so I can take that out completely. But in this instance, it seems to work just fine for what I'll be using it for. And the other thing I bought was a clamp-on video light. It's an LED light. It's battery powered, that charges by USB cable, and it's got different color temperature settings. There's a cooler bright white, and then there's a warmer yellowish tone. I'll turn it on real quick here. All right, and I don't know if you can see in the camera, there's actually different colored LEDs. There's some white, there's some that are more of a orangish color, and you can, let's see, yeah, I can change the color temperature. You see it changing there. All right, so that's more of your warm tone. But in my shop, I have very bright white LED lighting actually overhead. And then you can also turn down the intensity of that or back up. And it's got a clamp. I'm gonna go ahead and shut it off for the moment. So it's got a clamp that you can put in either from the bottom, so it's this way, or you can put it in this way vertically, and it just kind of snaps in like that. And then you can, adjust the angle of it. So yeah, so then you can attach it to just about anything where you might need some more light, like in the spray booth. So that was an Amazon buy. I think I paid less than $14 for this. It is, the brand name is, hang on, I'll tell you here in a second. It's called a D6 video light. So I guess that's the brand on it, D6. And it comes with a little carrying pouch for it, and then another mount for your 1/4 screw thread. So on a tripod, you can stick it on there, and then of course that's adjustable, so you can go vertical with it as well. And it also comes with the USB charging cord. So I thought that was pretty good deal for the money. And a week ago now, I think it's been a week, Joe over at the Big Sky Model Workshop, he showed some felt sheets that he picked up. So I happened to pick up a few as well over at Hobby Lobby. I got a black, and these are actually, I thought, you know what? Okay, so that black one is thicker. So here's 2 red, and then I got 1 of the tan. You know what? I was pretty sure that was actually 2, but yeah, that black is definitely 1 thicker sheet than these others. But anyway, he mentioned being able to use those for headliners or the floor carpeting, or even just your floor mats even. So we'll see what we can do with some of that in the future. So one more tool I picked up at Hobby Lobby this week is some wire looping pliers. So recently I've tried to do the expansion coils on the brake lines as they go into the master cylinder, and I have some round nose pliers, but they're not stepped like this pair is. And while I was able to make some coil loops, I wasn't real happy with the way they turned out each time I tried. So I saw these and I thought, well, maybe this will work a little better. So $10 at Hobby Lobby, we're going to give that a shot. And I picked up this contest flyer when I went to the Blue Angel Model Fest a couple weekends ago. So next year, May 16th, 2026, model and miniature show and contest, 3 for the price of 1. So you've got the Panhandle Automotive Modeling Society, which our buddy Shaggy is the point of contact with that club. The Panhandle Miniature Figure Society, and there's Bob Waltman and his email to contact him if you need to. And also the Gulf Coast chapter of the Armor Modeling and Preservation Society, Armor Gators, and Mr. Bob Edwards at that email address. So 9 to 5 p.m. on the 16th of May, Santa Rosa County Auditorium, which is the same location we just had the Blue Angel Model Fest at. $5 general admission, $10 families, $20 for 5 entries in any contest, and then $1 for each additional entry in either contest. So I don't think that's a bad entry fee at all, honestly. $20 for 5, that's pretty good. Raffles, each club will have their own raffle, vendors on hand, and then registration, vendor contact. So, and it says here each club has a Facebook presence. So you can find all 3 of those on Facebook and plan ahead for this next May if you're in this area or don't live too far away that you can drive in for a day. So mark it, plan on it.